Stand Up Diaries with Michelle Christine.
Hello and welcome to Stand Up Diaries, entry 156, and this one is called The Roast. And I have a little bit, this is not a roast, it's actually kind of more like a leg. It's kind of like what the HP thing is in Rogue Legacy, which is the free game for PS4. But anyways, it's I just didn't really know how to draw a roast, so I just drew a piece of meat. And then here I have skin of my nuts, because the roast is at Sonic, which is a weekly open mic, show up, go up. The show is sometimes 7 hours long. It was the show that inspired my open mic on Mondays, and now that's been converted to the Wizard of Ossington with open mic still from 10 till close at the Ossington. But Sonic has been a really, it's an open mic close to my heart. It's where I really started. I went there probably for like the first 50 weeks in a row, give or take, when I first started doing comedy. He lets you do a loose 5, tight 10. I think that's what it's called. So it was the first place I got like 10 minutes of stage time on a consistent basis, which was really revolutionary, and it's where a lot of the young comics have really kind of started getting their feet wet into comedy. So for that, it's a very valuable room. It's run by Bandit Kadar, and for the 1 year anniversary of the Skin of My Nuts comedy show, he did a roast for himself. And that was funny. I remember going there kind of as a new comic. I wasn't on the roster, but I kind of just went there to breathe it all in. And roasts for me make me a bit nervous. People in roasts, I mean, there was one just for Justin Bieber recently. You can be pretty cuttingly mean. They can be kind of outrageous, and anything goes, and you have no idea what other people are going to say. And so I kind of like, for that reason, I thought it was worth doing. It's we're roasting Brendan Pinto, a comic in Toronto that I know fairly well. And so that was one of the reasons I did it. It's because I know Pinto, and we kind of had that relationship where one time I left one open mic to actually go to Sonic to do that open mic, and as I was leaving, I just whispered into Pinto's ear, "I'm leaving because you smell bad," and then just left. So already, like, we have a little bit of like a roasting type of relationship. So I thought, okay, you know what, for the 3rd anniversary, this is now the 3rd anniversary of the Skin of My Nuts comedy show, when Bandit asked if I wanted to be part of the roast, I couldn't say no. I just thought, you know what, this is going to be valuable for me, it's going to be a good learning experience, and sometimes you just have to sit and bathe in people being mean to you. As much as maybe some people think that probably would be torturous, as comics, you're making fun of everything. You're making fun of yourself, you're making fun of your family, you're making fun of the government or society at large or the person that pissed you off that morning. Like, no matter what, something is the butt of a joke, and eventually, you know, it's got to be you. You have to sit back and be able to take people saying things, because, you know, you have to have thick skin. If you can't get through a roast in comedy, you're probably not going to get very far in comedy. So I'm kind of looking forward to it in that sense. Is like, how am I going to be able to listen to kind of this barrage of craziness thrown my way and just be able to soak it in and be like, yep, you know I'm like that, or I know I look like this, or I know I've, you know, portrayed myself as that, and just kind of, you know, sit in the misery of it, I think, a little bit. But of course you get the chance to kind of, you know, roast your fellow comedians, and of course Brendan Pinto, who is kind of, I think, the main event of roasting. So it should be fun. I am looking forward to it, and I'm sure I'll have an interesting recap. But I figured, of all the different things I've done in comedy, whether it be, you know, starting an open mic, or you know, my first headlining set, or my first college gig, or my first tour, there's a lot of firsts that I've been able to kind of go through as these diaries progress, and this is my first roast, and it's probably not going to be my last one. It's not televised because none of us are famous, but at the same time, I think it's good to kind of get your feet wet in a lot of different things, and even if you do it and you realize, it's not for me, at least you know before it's something on a grander scale. Or if you do it and you're like, oh, I really like this made me grow, or hearing all these people make fun of these certain aspects of myself, well, now that everyone's heard it and it's out there, maybe I can use that as inspiration for some of the jokes that I make about myself, because most people get on board with the comedian if they are able to poke fun at their self and their insecurities, because if you're not really a relatable person, then it's going to be hard to kind of get people on your side as you're sitting talking to them. So it's going to be a very interesting night. It's a beautiful day here in Toronto. It's just starting to get warm finally. I mean, maybe it's only 7 degrees today Celsius for those Americans out there, but Celsius. But it's nice to just actually see the sunshine and the days be longer. And this is like, for me, the best part of the year, because my birthday's coming up and we have all the summer to look forward to. So anyways, I will definitely recap the roast. Wish me luck. This has been your next edition of Stand Up Diaries. I have been Michelle Christine.